All right. I'm gonna give time for people to get on to this. Um, let's see. All right. Hopefully everybody's having a great day. Hopefully everyone is having a great day. I going live to discuss a certain situation. Yeah. Hold on one second. All right. So I'm about to get on. I'm not gonna wait. When people see this, you can just hop on, watch it, rewatch it, however you see fit. Um, but I definitely want to go on and share some things. Um, we are living in some very interesting times. We're living in very interesting times, and I try not to say too much. I try not to, do too much. But I think, man, it's time that we definitely have to say something because we're now in times where so many people are leaving church, or so many people have things to say about the church. So many people talk about our faith, mock the Christian religion. So many black people that are falling away to strange doctrines, um, because of many various reasons. But one thing I know, and I've learned, is that the worst thing, the only thing worse than a white evangelical preacher, that's racist and have racist and sexist views, is a black one with white racist and sexist views. Basically, a black man with a white man's mind, and that's very tragic. And I think because of the whitewashing of Christianity, that has happened a lot. Um, I had a little conversation rather in the comments with a pastor because he was comparing John MacArthur to C.H. Spurgeon, and I was like, I don't get that. And in the comments, someone was like, "How did you know that? John MacArthur, he didn't believe in women preaching, neither did he believe in social justice." And this man was like, I agree with him. The Bible hates these things. That's crazy. Like, that's in 2025. It is crazy that there are black pastors that can agree with some things, right? And this is not nothing, to John MacArthur, because John MacArthur got he got the gospel right, but he had a lot of other things that was wrong, right? And when it comes to social justice, when it comes to dealing with the times that we're dealing with today, the Bible speaks to those things, and God gives us tools, and He gives us His word to be able to apply to the things that we're going through. It's no way possible that you have black preachers that speak like they're a white person, right? And I think we have a problem with that. And as black Christians, we have a problem because we have now allowed the whitewashing of Christianity, this inclusive type thing. We have allowed this to really ruin us. I was just having a conversation with someone because the question was asked, why, what do you prefer as black, for young black, Gen Z? They was asked, do you prefer a black church or do you prefer multicultural churches? And a lot of the answers was interesting. I saw a lot of people say that they like multicultural churches with black pastors, or they like the multicultural church because of the diversity and all of these things. But the truth of the matter is, there's no such thing as that. I know that it sounds good in theory, but there are churches with a whole bunch of races, but the culture is predominantly white. From the sound to the theology, like your culture is not being presented, and it sounds all like that, right? And we have the whitewashing mindset has ruined us so much that you have black people that will literally disrespect and talk about black culture like it's just wrong. You have people. Oh, I can't go to a black church because I don't like how loud they are. I don't like their songs, and I don't like gospel music because it ain't biblical. Like, are y'all serious right now? Like, what's going on? Like, what we this is crazy. Like, this is mind blowing to me, and I'm trying to figure out what is some solutions that can help us in this situation. Like, I it is just disappointing to see how we have allowed these mindsets literally ruin this, right? Like, one of the arguments that I hate the most is when people try to make the argument when you do bring up social justice, or when you do bring up the things that are happening in the world as a black person. They'll tell you, oh, I'm a Christian first. I'm like my Christianity is over my blackness, or my Christianity comes before my skin color, and these things. And that's cool, but why do black people are the only ones that got to say that? Why we got to be the only people to say that our Christianity is, like, God? Yes, I'm a Christian first, but I am black. God made me black for a reason. So why do it that why we gotta only be the colorblind folk, that we gotta make these type of announcements before you talk about something? Like, how can why like, as a black Christian, how can we sit in spaces around Christians that don't think social justice is something that can be talked about? How can we be comfortable sitting in places where you know that these people are sexist? But you don't want women preaching, or you don't want women in this. You don't want them to do, like, how can we be comfortable in these spaces? Like somebody, we have, this is a problem, and I think that it's something that we got to face, because it's so much that's going on in this world. There's so many things that we need to discuss, and I think the inward problems that we need to talk about, we don't talk about them because we be so worried about the little stuff, worried about, what music or who dressing like this and all this other stuff. But these mindsets are very harmful. These mindsets are crazy. That you have black pastors that'll say that the Bible hates social justice. Like, I don't get that. That you have um um black pastors that are, and it's not a lot, but you have some that will literally try to ignore the stuff that we see in our faces, to act like there aren't systematic systems in place to keep black people down, to act like there were not things that was done to black people, to kill black leaders, to do all these things to hurt us as a race, and then to get up and say that the Bible don't like social justice, or to say, or to not speak on social justice in your pulpits. But then you appraise white pastors who definitely don't care about you, definitely don't speak about your behalf. You think that's okay? What are you saying to the people? Jesus cared about social justice. We see it in his text. Jesus, he was a rebel. Jesus did not mind going against culture. Jesus did not mind speaking for the voiceless. He did not mind standing up for those who couldn't stand up for themselves. And how is it that you will have black preachers that'll get up and don't say nothing about the things that are going on to black people, and then when it's brought up, they want to go and come up with these like white arguments. When you talking about black people being harmed, they want to talk about, well, black on black crime, or they sagging, and if they would just do this, it's like, what are we doing? Like, this is crazy. This is really crazy. This is crazy to me. And I think that it is a problem that needs to be addressed. It's a problem that needs to be talked about. It's truly a problem that really needs to be talked about. And I just want to know, what do you all think are some solutions that need to be taking place? What is something that we can do to try to fix this? Because people are watching us. People are seeing us on the outside, and they're watching what we're doing. They're watching what we're saying. And as a black person, it's just, that's just mind-boggling to me that people will say these things, that people can think these things. I want to read you out something that was said to me that was like so crazy. Person said, if you are distracted by the black Jesus or the white Jesus rather than crucified Christ, you have the wrong Jesus. Now, that statement is 100% true, right? But it's coming from a black person that loves pandering to white people, right? You don't ever see white pastors say stuff like that, or and when you to other white people, because they you know what I mean. They don't do that. But when we start trying to talk about the situations and the problems that we're facing, it's always a problem, and it's always that one black person that'll try to state the obvious, like we don't know. You see what I'm saying? And and it's crazy where this this person said. He said, there's no such thing as black Christianity or white Christianity, just our own carnal divisions. Truth is, a lot of what we as black people promote, defend, and cling to are self hindrances. I'm not alone in saying this. Many of us see the double standards. It says, to us, Hispanics are brown when struggling, but suddenly white privilege when succeeding, as if hard work has nothing to do with it. He says, I've spoken just as boldly to white folk when needed, which I've never seen that. But he says, but I'm black and my deepest encounters are with my own people. Like Paul said in Romans 10, zeal without knowledge is dangerous. We blame instead of build, wait on reparations instead of repairing our homes, look for help instead of realizing success is earned, not handed out. That right there is a major insult. When you have black people that'll say with their own mouths in 2025, that would say, we blame instead of build, and we wait on reparations instead of repairing our homes. That's crazy to me. When every person, there's so many different races, so many different cultures, ethnicities rather, who have received some form of reparations except for black people. But when black people talk about it, it's a problem. Are you serious? You have many black men and women who went to war and fought in the war and died in Vietnam, and put their lives on the line in Vietnam. And when they came back from fighting for America, they were sent to the ghetto, but they had the other soldiers, the white ones and Asians. They get business loans, they got housing loans, and all these different. And you got the nerve to say that black people, that we failed to build, but we want to wait on reparations, like they ain't gave reparations to other people. Are you serious? How can you sit here and say that when it has been shown that you have people that come from other cultures, from other countries, that can come here in America and get business loan quicker than the black people that are from here? Like that ain't a thing. How can we sit here and have this type of mindset when it ain't been proven that there have been systems in place to give high interest rates to black people to do these different? How can we sit here and say this and then you gonna say that the Bible it hates social? You think God is okay with that? You don't think He has something to say with that? It's easy to talk about the stuff that black people do wrong, and we do that all the time. But when somebody say, "Man, this is a problem," are you serious? That's crazy to me. That's crazy. And to act like to say that there's no such thing as a black Christianity and a white Christianity. If it ain't no such thing, why is most modern westernized Christianity is predominantly white? Why all of Jesus is white? Why is everything there? It's all the Christian movies, everything that deals with Christianity has a white face on it. If it ain't no such thing. If it really didn't matter, if the color really didn't matter, why don't they just point it to how it is? Because it never matters to the person who's in control. They just painted how they wanted to be painted. If it was really no such thing. Like, how can we sit here in 2025 and still have these white mindsets? That's crazy to me. How can you still sit here in 2025 and you be mad at women preaching and talk about women preaching like we ain't seen God use women in the Bible in miraculous ways? How can we still here try to undermine what God can do in women, go to the greatest lengths to try to undermine them and the work they've done for the Christian faith to push the faith on and like they ain't there? John MacArthur didn't care for women preaching, and he definitely didn't care for no black folk. But you got people out here saying these crazy, man, that's crazy to me. That's crazy. And it's crazy to see, and it's crazy that you use these old rhetorics. And my thing for some older black guys or older black men, where they'll try to use these things like y'all just don't want to work hard, and that's why we're doing it. Like, bro, come on, man, that's an old narrative, bro. That's an old narrative. That is an old narrative. You can't sit up here and act like all black people ain't trying to work hard. You can't use that. You can't do that. You can't sit up here and act like all black people ain't trying to build. You can't do that. Because we know that the problem is, and this is just me, he mentioned how in one of his response to me, talked about how during Reconstruction, a period where black people were against all odds, and he said that during those times, black people was able to build colleges and build businesses and do all of these different things, and all of these things were stacked against them. That's true and it's proven, right? But the problem is, we know what happened when that took place during Reconstruction, when black people were unified, when we were doing these things for ourselves, when we was building our own buildings, when we were teaching and educating our youth, when we was out here being for self, doing these things. What happened? They came in and they destroyed it. We started having the Black Wall Street, and you start having all these different things started to take place, and then the Civil Rights Movement came in, and I feel like we can't ask for civil rights if we wasn't even given human rights. And then when we started to be in white spaces and started wanting to be in white spaces, we started neglecting our own. And that's the type of mentality that you got some of these people have, that now that you are in certain white spaces, now that you're in certain places that you couldn't be, now you want to neglect those, that the people that have been putting in work. It's crazy to me that you can have black people go to some of these big mega multicultural churches and then want to act like the black church ain't did nothing. Talking about, oh, they doing this. What the black church, like the black ain't any movement that there was ever progression for black people, the black church was in the center of it. But when we have these whitewashed mindsets, when we have these whitewashed people that's trying to lead the forefront, you would think that the black church ain't did nothing. And that's crazy to me. Like, we really have a problem. We have a problem that you still have these old arguments where people be like, oh, this is the white man's religion. The Christianity is the white. And it's going to always have that when you continue having black people that's pushing these type of white mindsets. Because Christianity is not a white man's religion. It's a global religion. How can Christianity be a white man's religion when it was in Africa centuries before it ever touched Europe? How can that be? Not only was it thriving in Africa, it was in Egypt, it was thriving in all these other places before it even touched you. How can this be? But it's easy for people to continue to think that Christianity is a white man's religion when you have black preachers standing up with white minds. When you see the stuff that's going on to black people and you don't speak nothing about it. When we see the things that's happening in our current events and you're not preaching and sharing the gospel or how the gospel in the Bible can be used to help us through everyday battles. When you got people that are so heavily minded that they're no good for the earth. And that is crazy to me. That a black man in 2025 who is a pastor will literally say that the problem is that we don't build. We want to wait on reparations, and what did he say? Said we don't want to build. We want to wait on reparations instead of repairing our homes. We want to look for help instead of realizing success is earned and not handed out. And that's crazy because everybody get help. And so the black people, we can't ask for no kind of help. What kind of stuff is this? That's crazy. That's crazy. That's crazy work to even think that. That's like I'm mind blown right now. I'm mind blown. Like dude says, I don't have a white mind or a black mind. I strive to have a biblical mind, the mind of Christ. And I'm like, bro, come on, man. Like really, that like really, like I have a black mind or mind. You're the one framing this as a white mind versus black minds, trying to extract some virtue from either side. But let's be clear: any mind not aligned with Christ will be in error, regardless of color. I don't believe in forcing multicultural churches. I've been approached at white retreats and conventions with the same tired questions. What do you think? It says, what do you think about 11 o'clock on Sunday still being the most segregated hour in America? My answer, we're not in heaven yet. People worship where they connect, where they enjoy the music, the message, and the ministry. We'll be united in glory or in persecution. Until then, let people gather where they grow. And for the record, I'm just a direct. And it's like, bro, I've never seen you been. It's easy to say that. And it's like, bro, come on, man. Like, we people want to be so heavily minded, bro, that they ain't no use for earth. I am a Christian first, but God also made me black, and He made me black for a reason. If He didn't want me to be black, He would have made me something else. And I think that God is intentional in everything that He does. So because I'm a Christian and I'm a black Christian, that means that He has me here for a reason. I'm not colorblind. I don't have to undermine my blackness to uphold my Christianity. And I ain't gotta undermine my Christianity to uphold my blackness. But only you only see that in black spaces where we gotta let it be known that hey, I just want you to know that I'm a Christian first, and then black man, bro, why we gotta be only ones do that? Why are we the only ones that always gotta what's the word I want to use? Why are we the only ones that got to to be so acceptive of everything? But everything we do is demonized. If it ain't demonized by the white people, it's black people that demonize. Like that's crazy to me. We really have a problem. That's why I love people like Dr. Eric Mason, people like Jerome Gay, people like Preston Perry, Jackie Hill Perry. I love people like that, the Justin Wades of the world, the Torrance Spears of the world, black evangelicals that will speak truth to power, that's going to give the gospel the way it is, and that's going to be a voice for the voiceless, that will speak out on social issues when need be. Like that, this is what we need. We can't sit here and talk about Donald Trump when you got black Donald Trumps in the pulpit and been in there for years. Like that's crazy. That is crazy work, and I just don't get it. I just don't get it. That you can, how can you compare John MacArthur to C.H. Spurgeon? C.H. Spurgeon was against the mistreatment of black people. He would write about it in his newspapers to the point they didn't even want it to be published because he was against that. And he was giving Bible to prove that. John MacArthur ain't never said nothing to help black folk. When they was doing the Black Lives Matter, or when people was talking about these different things, he wasn't speaking out for us. Just like a lot of other white evangelicals wasn't. But we have these type of mindsets where you have people like a Vodi Bakum that'll get up and talk about Martin Luther King and have the audacity to say that he don't think he was a Christian and he was a communist. Like man, are you serious? Ain't nothing worse than a black body with a white mind, with a white racist mind. And they don't even see it. That's crazy work, man. That is crazy work. That we put ourselves in these spaces, these multicultural spaces, where they not even multicultural. You just in a space with a whole bunch of other races, but the main culture is everything else is white. The sound, everything, the theology is all that. But then when you go to the black church or you see anything pertaining to black, it's always a problem. Yeah, we gotta. That's crazy to me. I just don't get it. I don't get it. I don't understand. I really don't understand. Somebody type in the comments or the chat, and you tell me what y'all think. I'm always open. I'm wrong. I'm open. I'm open to it. But this is just getting tired. It's just crazy. Like this is crazy. Like it's to even have these thoughts in 2025 is crazy. To sit here and act like these things ain't happening is crazy. To sit here to act like all black people ain't trying to build is crazy. To act like yes, we still have a lot of ways to go, but to act like that there aren't things in place, that there aren't obstacles in place for black people that other people don't have is crazy. That's crazy work. Like it's wow. That's beyond me. Like that is beyond me. So y'all tell me y'all thoughts. What do y'all think?